Til dere som ikke vet det, i Amerika, la oss si du ringer 113 eller 911 fordi du har vondt i pungen. Og det ender opp med å bare være fordi du slo deg selv i pungen litt tidligere, så du har ikke noe grunn til å ringe, så får du en regning på 20 000. Hvis du har kreft, så koster det deg flere millioner kroner å få behandlet den kreften. Brekker du armen? 60 000 kroner. Amerika har nok det verste helsesystemet som finnes i denne verden, for de bryr seg bare om der de kan tjene penger og ikke. Og her har vi en amerikaner som reagerer på Norges ambulansesystem. Det er basically vår healthcare. Så la oss se hvor sjokk han får av at du faktisk får lov til å skade deg selv og ikke måtte betale huset ditt.
What's going on, everyone? I'm just a
typical average American here today to react and learn about Norway's genius.
Dr. Ambulance?
Dr. Ambulanse?
So, I understand that healthcare is definitely different in Norway compared to here in the United States, but this really surprised.
Jeg må finne ut av det nå, for det kan være snakk om bullshit. A broken arm costs in the United... The diagnosis and treatment for a broken arm that does not require surgery general runs up to... Cirka 25 000 kroner. 25 000. Og hvis du må operere, så kan det koste 160 000 kroner. Det er helt forbanna vilt. Det er så idiotisk.
Apparently, Norway has ambulances that have doctors in them?
Ja.
Which actually makes a lot of sense.
Ja, det gjør det.
When the ambulance arrives to help you, the doctor is right there.
Ja, se for deg det. Du får faktisk hjelp om du ringer etter hjelp.
You don't have to go all the way to the hospital to see them. I've actually never heard of a system like this before, but it sounds amazing, to be honest, and really...
Det høres ikke fantastisk ut. Det høres ut som det minste du kan forvente.
Obvious when you think about it. So today, I want to check out this video and learn more about this. So let's take a look.
Today we're visiting the Physician Manned Rapid Response Unit here in Fredrikstad, Norway.
Physician Manned Rapid Response Unit. Physicians, doctors, in the response vehicle.
Ja.
Why have I never heard about this?
Fordi du bor i Amerika, hvor du må betale 200 000 kroner hvis du setter en tyggis i halsen.
Wow. Okay.
With me, I have the attending physician in charge of this project. And Anders, please tell me a little bit more about this project.
In Norway, we have these emergency rooms located at the hospital, but we also have the smaller municipal emergency rooms located throughout the country due to...
Wait a minute. I don't know a ton about Norwegian healthcare or anything, so I'm trying to understand. You have emergency rooms in the hospital. That is exactly what it's like here in the United States. You have to go to a hospital to find an emergency room. There are also, he said in Norway, emergency rooms just around Norway?
Yeah. But we also have the smaller municipal emergency rooms located throughout the country.
Smaller municipal emergency room? Is this like just a dedicated emergency room? It's not part of a hospital? Is this a thing?
Det
to, among other things, long distances from the community where people live to the hospital, and also sometimes bad road conditions. This is...
Whoa. I have never thought about that, but again, it makes so much sense, especially for somewhere like Norway, where people can live in really remote areas. Like he said, difficult driving conditions, hard to get to. So if you can't build an entire hospital
så kan du bygge et lite rom.
You can at least build an emergency room with doctors in emergency healthcare. That is so smart. I actually wonder in America, like, we should do that.
Men det som greia med Amerika, de kommer ikke til å gjøre det. For i Amerika så handler det om at folk skal tjene penger. Hvordan skal toppledelsen i Amerika tjene penger hvis de har emergency rooms der? Da kan de ikke ta og få pasienten til å betale frakt og bensinpris fram til sykehuset.
Isolated places that are hard to get to, it would save a lot of lives, but again, I've never heard of that either.
One of the units
Men jeg har ikke hørt om det.
From the local emergency room in Fredrikstad. What we do is that we bring a nurse or paramedic with the doctor out to the scene where the patient is in dire need of
Og for en sjokk av det her.
help.
Hvem er det som kjører ambulanse i Amerika da?
If you have the doctors available, this is so brilliant. Because if somebody needs an ambulance, they're probably in a lot of trouble, and
Ja.
a lot of the time they might die right there when the ambulance gets there. The trip to the hospital could be too long. That could be what kills them. Being able to bring the doctor to the patient in the field, wherever they are, must save so many lives. This is amazing.
And the nurses, paramedic and doctors, what kind of competencies do they have?
Well, the doctors are mostly generalists. The closest thing you could get to other systems is general practice. But of course, we only work with the emergencies. But we also have some other specialists, like anesthesiologists. But the main thing for all the doctors is that they have many years of experience doing emergency medicine in the local communities.
Wow, this is fantastic. It makes me wonder, like, in America, we don't have a surplus of doctors. I understand there's only so many doctors. So we have to be careful with our resources. But if somebody is dying, like out at their home or out somewhere isolated, why don't we send a doctor?
Og det tjener dere ikke penger. Det her, kommentarfeltet hans er fullt. Jeg leste litt på kommentarfeltet. Free education, det er svaret på alle spørsmålene hans. Det er det jo faktisk. Også her i landet er også ambulansesjåfører. Det er de som har mest kompetanse. Nei, jeg klarer ikke å si det på norsk. Se her. My father was in the USA. Jeg kan ta det på norsk. Faren hans var i USA, og han besvimte og falt i bakken. De ringte ambulansen, men de nekta å hjelpe dem før de kunne bevise at de hadde forsikring. Det er der det er. For her i Norge så betaler du skatt sånn at du skal få free healthcare. Du betaler bare en egenandel. Veldig billig. Men i Amerika så betaler du skatt som går til forsikringsselskapene. Det er forsikringsselskapene som tjener penger her. Og det er det de bryr seg om.
With the ambulance or in the helicopter? I don't know. We don't, and I don't know why.
Is working pre-hospitally, like with this car behind us.
What about the nurses and paramedics?
Well, they also have longer experiences in emergency medicine, working from the local department and pre-hospital emergency medicine.
That's really, it sounds like Norway has to deal with this kind of thing a lot, with being a uniquely structured country. Lots of remote, small towns and villages.
Det er ikke så unikt. Jeg tror de fleste land har det sånn som vi har. Det er bare Amerika som ikke har det sånn.
And isolated and crazy roads and tunnels, and I get that. So it sounds like Norway really needed this. And I think this is amazing, and honestly, America could benefit from learning about this.
You told me that the car
Ja, men de
is
vet om det, de bare
primarily
bryr seg ikke. Jeg
staffed
tror jeg
by
faen. Nå virker det som jeg har mye Amerika-hat her, men det er idiotisk.
generalists, so you don't bring like advanced airway skills to the table. What can you offer them?
There's a lot of emergencies, like medical and traumatic emergencies, but it is really seldom that we use inotropes or sedation or endotracheal intubation. So what we do is that we take care of the larger part of the emergency medicine field.
Right.
And of course, when it's needed, we have the possibility of also calling anesthesiologist with us, often by car or by helicopter. And
What?
Ja.
What? In the United States, Sometimes there's medical procedures where you can't even get an anesthesiologist, and you have to just get numbed up and do the thing awake. You know, I've heard of that. In Norway, you can get an anesthesiologist in the ambulance. Like, when I tell you, this is unbelievable. I don't know if in Norway, you guys have a smaller population, but do you have a higher ratio of doctors per person? I don't know.
Ja, det var det en som kommenterte her, faktisk. Altså, her også. Det er ikke Norge som har et annerledes healthcare system. Det er USA som er different, på en negativ måte. Sammenlignet med andre moderne industrielle land. Så det er Amerika, ja. Skal vi se. Nå må vi se på det der. I Norge så er det 4,4 doktorer per 1000 innbygger. Og i Amerika så er det 2,6 doktorer per 1000 innbygger, ja. Ok, så vi har dobbelt så mange per innbygger.
But anyway, whatever the reason, the idea that you can send doctors out like this, and anesthesiologists if it's necessary, and that you guys have all this amazing healthcare access it's amazing. It's so
ja, men pengene går der de skal.
And sometimes the car is staffed by anesthesiologists with general practice experience.
Wow.
Anders, what kind of calls do you typically respond to?
The most typical missions for us is difficulty breathing, infections, and trauma.
Yeah, like if you can't breathe, or trauma, like you've got your leg cut off, like it would make sense that you need a doctor, you know? Like, no offense to emergency ambulance personnel, you know, but one of them is just driving the car and the other probably has like a certificate, in America anyway, just like a EMS certification, you know, to treat for some of the stuff when they come help you. But the difference having a trauma doctor, like a physician, like that would make all the difference for a lot of lives.
Who dispatches your unit, and what kind of services can you offer that a regular ambulance can't?
Approximately 60% of the cases, it's the central dispatcher, the EMCC, Emergency Medical Communication Center, and then 40% there's call center in the local emergency.
Cool.
That gives us the missions.
Cool.
What we can offer is first and foremost maybe the competence of the doctor in diagnostic terms, but also of course in some of the more severe accidents and medical emergencies, then we can offer a different kind of treatment than the regular ambulances.
Okay, so in Norway, you have regular ambulance. This is a special ambulance. I don't know if this is being tried locally in this area, or if there are, I don't know how common this is in Norway. Maybe it's just kind of being tried out. Or...
Altså, det kommer vel an på telefonen, for her i Norge så ringer du jo inn til 113, så snakker du med noen, og de vurderer situasjonen hvor alvorlig den er. Og er den alvorlig nok, så blir det sendt ut tilsvarende. Det er ikke sånn at det kjører en lege i hver ambulanse. Det kommer sikkert veldig an på hva som skjer.
I don't know, but it's amazing, and now I understand you have regular ambulance for getting you to the hospital, and this is something else if you need extra care. Just having the option of having this is amazing. Now, in the United States here, I can't even imagine how much this would cost. Like, getting a regular ambulance to come help you could, like, you might get $1,000 bill in the mail.
10,000 kroner for å bli hentet av ambulansen.
It's crazy. A lot of people don't even call an ambulance because it's so expensive in America. A doctor ambulance, people would probably be too scared to even call them, but if your life is at stake, this is an incredible...
Se, han tenker ikke over det engang. Hvor mye tror du vi betaler? Maks 1000 kroner, liksom. Jeg tror ikke det er så mye engang. Eller det koster ikke penger å bli hentet av ambulansen. Det gjør det ikke. Det koster vel ingenting i det hele tatt. Nå blir jo ikke jeg hentet av det, da.
Option that's available.
What kind of effects have you seen in your community since starting this project a few years ago?
I think one of the biggest impacts we have had is that
starting this project. Så det er ikke sånn over hele Norge, eller?
We have a larger opportunity now to treat people on site, meaning that we can do the primary diagnostics and treatment where the people call from. So
Wow.
usually typical we can go to a nursing home or to a regular home and treat people without using more resources on transport, ambulance transport from the home to the treatment center and back and so on. So I think it's
They actually make it sound like they can perform a lot of different treatments on site. Like, obviously,
Hallo! Det er pappa. Ja, det er pappa. Der er pappa, se. Der er pappa.
ideally, you'd be in the hospital, but for life and death, the fact that they can come to you and treat you right there in your own bed is pretty amazing.
Ja, det er ganske cray-cray.
In a time where the resources are so few that we try to treat people on the lowest possible level while maintaining the safety, of course, for the patients. And I think this is one of the things that the physician manned unit can provide.
Anders
Wow.
has told us that some of the things that the physician man unit can bring to the table is advanced the diagnostics and treatment. And please follow us to the next video where we go through all the...
Okay, so that's the end of this.
Ja.
This is amazing. I love this. It's so interesting to hear about some of the healthcare practices you have in Norway. Clearly, we could learn so much by Americans, you know, from learning about this stuff and implementing some of these ideas, but I don't know if I see that happening anytime soon, unfortunately. But regardless, it was really cool to just learn about this because I had no idea this was even a possibility. It makes so much sense. I love this. Anyway, if you enjoyed this...
Det her er faktisk helt vilt. Jeg vet ikke hva dere synes om det, men det der helsesystemet i Amerika, det er jo noe å le av. Kanskje vi må reagere på det.